Hey there, welcome to this little iPhone video. Just want to share a little bit of knowledge, a little tip that I found about replacing the bulbs on these Tascam 244s. First off, I just want to shout out a guy called Tetracan, I believe. It's something like that. It's a Scottish guy. He's got a great channel. It's not just about Tascam 244s, but he's got a whole tutorial series fixing these things up. And when I bought this one, it was pretty much dead in the water. It needed everything doing. The tape deck cover was broken. The buttons were broken. The bulbs were gone in the VU. All of the belts inside, the pinch roller, the idler wheels, basically anything that was rubber had turned into this horrible black tar. So this thing's had a good bit of work. Thanks to his tutorials though, I've managed to kind of guide my way through it, and all I'm waiting for is a main belt coming from GB Audio and this thing will be complete. But because he'd shared such great knowledge, I thought I'd share one little thing that I discovered while I was playing around with these, just to help a few people out if you've got the same problem. So these two far right VU meters, the bulbs are gone. I've actually just sat the original bulb just on top here so you can take a look at it. It's like a fuse style bulb, as you can see. Mine didn't light up, of course, they're broken. I was looking for replacements. Now, a big problem with these is that in the UK, if you're a UK resident, you're going to have problems finding parts, certainly cheaply. You can order like new pinch rollers and things, but people were trying to charge 30 odd pounds just for one pinch roller. On Tetracan's channel, he shows you a bunch of ways to kind of navigate around that. And yeah, you can use some like plumbing equipment, all kinds of stuff. One thing that was the same was trying to find replacement bulbs for the VU meters. They were either expensive or they just looked like maybe you had to solder them in or some other thing. They just didn't look quite right. Didn't look like a straight up easy replacement. What I discovered on eBay UK was bulbs that are kind of similar to this, so like a fuse style bulb, but it actually has 3 little LEDs inside it instead. And you can get them in a bunch of different colors. So if you wanted to swap these out for like red or electric blue or something and kind of modernize your 244, you could do that. I dare say it works for the 246 as well. I'm assuming they use the same VU meters and bulbs and things. But I went for warm white, and the warm white is a spot on match for the original. Let me just quickly turn this on. Apologies for the shaky camera work. Let's just turn this device on. And there you go, you can see they light up. Now, the one thing I will say is that when I'm filming this, it looks like there's a really heavy white glow under here, like it's like ultra bright. When you look at them in the flesh, in person, and I'll take a photo to kind of prove that, hopefully, just like a still photo, it doesn't look like that. It's just being picked up on the camera. I'm not sure why in the camera it just looks like so blown out, but this looks like very bright white at the bottom. Doesn't look like that when I'm looking at them here in person. But as you can see, it's a really good match in terms of the warm white. Looks vintage, a nice easy replacement. The only problem being that they are a sort of thicker bulb and a kind of, fuse style bulb. So the little holders, the little kind of pincers, if you will, that hold these fuse style bulbs inside of the VU meter, they're not wide enough. So you have to use a pair of pliers to open them up a little bit in order to put the bulb in. Now, that wouldn't be so much of a problem if it wasn't for the fact that you have to open them up so much, it kind of loses its grip. The way that I got around that was that I used a clothes peg to just hold it in place, got the soldering iron out, and I just put a blob of solder on the end. Now, being an idiot, I didn't film the process, but I do have some still photos that we'll scoot over to in a second, just so I can show you what the LED bulbs look like. I'll put a link to them in the description as well. They cost about £1.50 each, so to replace the 4 bulbs didn't really cost me much at all. And as I said, if you wanted to switch it out for some fancy colors, you could do. But yeah, if I had more sense, I would have filmed the process so that you can, see exactly how it works. But if you're struggling to try and find the bulbs, you're looking for an alternative, I'm assuming because they're LED bulbs, they're going to last quite a long time. And even though I've had to just put a blob of solder on there, if you had to take a bulb out and replace it, you could desolder it in about 2 minutes. It took me less than 5 minutes to solder all 4 bulbs in, just literally a blob on each end, and the still photos will show that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Just wanted to add to this great kind of snowball of knowledge that's kind of floating around with these. But yeah, shout out to Tetracan. He's a really cool guy. He's got a great channel, nice kind of easy, chilled vibe to watch him restore these things. And yeah, his knowledge base is insane. I'm going to leave it there. Let's just skip over to the still photos so you can have a look at the bulbs. Okay, as you can see here, this is a close-up of the bulbs, and hopefully you can see how I've soldered them into place. It's not my best soldering job, but it gets it done. Easy enough to open up the VU meters. I used a little bit of black tape to put them back together before I put them in, because you have to kind of break the seal on the VU meter. Easy enough. And there you go. Hopefully it helps some of you out. Just check the link in the description for those eBay bulbs. Cheap and cheerful. Does the job.